evening. This is Dr. Lopez with another edition of the Good Night Podcast. And today we have again some special guests. We're going to talk about a very important program here at Bravo Medical Magnet. And to do that, I'm going to introduce our two guests. Angel. Angel is the program manager for our after school program that goes by the name of S.H.O.U.T, and you'll see why. And Angie. Angie is the site coordinator here at Bravo Medical Magnet High School for the S.H.O.U.T program. And so we'll have a conversation about what S.H.O.U.T is, what the Beyond the Bell program is, what the after school program is, why it is important to our students, how students can access these resources, and other things. So we'll talk about fun things too. So I wanted to start with saying that, for years, I went to the office at the Central District, at the Region's office, begging, why can't we have an after school program? Why is it that Bravo does not qualify for an after school program? We have the same kind of students that Wilson, Lincoln, that, they were Title I school, poverty, all of that. We meet all of the requirements, but why can't we have an after school program? And it was always a no, it was always a no. So when we were finally told last year, hey, guess what? We jumped at the opportunity. So thank you. Thank you for joining us here at Bravo. So let's talk a little bit about what the program is all about, how it is funded, why, what are some of the requirements that students have to meet, what are some of the requirements that you would have to meet to continue working with our students. And any one of you guys can start. I just think that our students and our parents and our staff really need to know more about what's going on.
Awesome. Well, I'll start.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, thank you for having us here. This is our very, very first podcast, my personal ever in my life. Um, and the reason why we're here is one, we want to be here. Our team is very community based. Our staff members are from the neighborhood. They grew up in the area. So I feel that we have a passion of what we do. We see a resemblance with our students. We were in the surrounding high schools at once. So we are coming back to work for our community. As far as programming and contracts, the way it works is Salesian Family Youth Center, which is on Breed and 4th Street in Boyle Heights. We have a contract with Beyond the Bell to be in school campuses. This year, the opportunity came up having Bravo High School. We got an email from Francisca Gomez from Beyond the Bell saying there's an opportunity, if we could have an interview with our principal. And as soon as I saw the email, I spoke to my executive. We were really excited to jump on board. And we said, yeah, the opportunity came in. And we also have serviced Bravo students in the past, as well as Mendez, Garfield, Wilson students. It's a community center, so we have different students coming in from the community. A lot of Bravo, especially with the basketball league that we had there. And it was always a question of, how can we come in here? How can we apply? And it was more questions to Beyond the Bell as what's the first step to do? How can we make this happen? I think we never got a clear understanding to this day. I don't think I'm knowledgeable enough to understand the whole process. But at the end of the day, we're here. It feels right. We're excited to bring in all our gifts and talents to Bravo. As it is, it's a very community-based campus. Everyone here is very supportive, teachers, admin, principal. Since we came in, everyone was very welcoming, nice. It does make us feel like home. And we are really happy to be here and provide any resource, any support that our students and admin might need.
One of the things that I always fear when starting something new is, And I've had in my 36 years now working in schools, I've had the opportunity to begin programs, to start new ideas, new things. But my fear is always like this idea of if you build it, they will come is not necessarily true. Eventually, maybe, but at the beginning, there's this fear like, will they show up?
Yeah.
Will they come? Right? Will this be relevant to kids? Will they be interested? Tell us a little bit about that experience, maybe what happened here when you first began.
When we first got here, I will say, going back to what Angel was saying, um, it's very interesting of the way this environment is. It's
Mm-hmm.
so much different. I even told him, I was like, dude, I'm gaining compadres, comadres. I'm gonna get some padrinos here, because it's just very family oriented. So that's what I really love about the campus, the school, the community here. Um, Not only that, but we first started here, it was very slow. Um, at first, I would say it was like, I would say the first week, we had one or two students popping in, and they're like, "What's this? Oh, this classroom. Nobody uses this classroom." And we're like, "Oh, well, how do you want the classroom to look? What's How can we make it different for you?" And that's where we started like making it very artful. They're like, "You have to make it look more lively. Add some stuff to it." I was like, "Okay, don't worry, we got this." Um, and eventually those same two students started coming, and then they started bringing their friends. And at first it was just a study hall there. um, and then eventually I was like, you know what, you guys could bring up your own clubs, you know. I know some of you have clubs already. Let's do something about it. I know you guys meet during lunch, but wouldn't you want more than 30 minutes? Maybe we could bring it after school. And that's where like certain clubs were coming up, and we started connecting with teachers as well. And they were like, yeah, there's already so much in my plate. Maybe you could help me out. And we're like, yeah, just let us know how we could support you and help you and move forward with that. Um, but our main target, I guess, teachers were the ones that the students were like kept mentioning. And we're like, oh, okay, where are they located? What do you guys do? Um, so that's where like there is even students that were coming from the debate club that were like, can you just watch us? And we're like, of course. um, and then there's like the gardening club too, where it's like now we're building planter beds so that we can make the garden beautiful. The theater club, where it's like they're doing Romeo and Juliet, and we brought professionals in. Um, so it's like the more students that get interact, like they get to see us or meet us, and we made them feel welcome. It's like we tell them, this is your space, make it what you want to make it. Um, there's students that, you know, that will pop in one or two times, and then you don't see them for a bit, and then all of a sudden they come back. And we're like, what happened? And you call them by their name, and they're like, you remember my name? It's like, yeah. How can we forget you, you know? Um, but then we also have those consistent students that, you know, they even have opportunities that they go to, depending on what club they have, of course, like our leadership club. Um, what we tend to do there is we give them the opportunity not only for them to be themselves, be actual leaders, but they run the club. So what it is they let us know what they want to do, not only for the school but the community. And I know most of them don't even come here, or live around here. So they're like, well, what do I do in the community? And it's like, well, it's in your community as well. Wherever you live, you can make a difference. So like the leadership club, every first of the month, I believe.
It's the first Sunday of every month. Yes.
There you go. So that we take them to Skid Road, where we go do a homeless outreach. We prepare sandwiches. We do goodie bags for them. Supply them with necessities that they may need, and they distribute them. We go around and they see, and we ask them at the end when everything's distributed, like, how do you guys feel? At least express yourself in one word. And they feel grateful. They see it's like inspiring to them, and they see what they do have when while others don't have much, but they make the best out of it. So we do little trips like that. We also taken them to up north. We did a college trip for them as well, um, and we opened it up to other clubs as well, because we want to make it for everybody. Um, and I feel like these are different things that we do within the program to make it not only stand out a little bit more, but have the students experience something different.
And I'm really excited. All right, I had an opportunity to speak with you guys a couple of times before, and excited about all these opportunities, all these activities, all these projects, and so on and so forth. I'm thinking about what are the, excuse me, what are the, what's the vision, mission of maybe Shout, or maybe the Beyond the Bell? What is the overall, the big picture idea, right? And I'm thinking about that for a couple of reasons. One of one of the drivers in my own experience, my own professional experience, has been that I love to see kids find out how much strength they have. Like, I love it when they figure out, oh, you know what, I was able to do this, or I I love when students are able to reflect and see strength in themselves, or see maybe potential areas that they can improve on, but to be more self-aware, more reflective, and have a strong self-esteem. As a dance teacher in the past, one of the things that kids would tell me, I was so scared and I was so shy, but being on the stage gave me that confidence, right? And so seeing that transformation. So every time that I think about something, I think about it, it has to have a purpose. It's not just about getting the kids busy, right? But it has to have a purpose. So what are some of the overall big goals that Shout, or Solution, or Beyond the Bell maybe has to have programs and opportunities like this for our kids?
Yeah, so we the mission statement, it's a nice little paragraph.
Mm-hmm.
Overall, our mission and our goal is for to empower the youth in Boyle Heights and the surrounding communities,
Mm-hmm.
to bring in the best of them, to bring out their skill, and at the end of the day is how to become a better citizen in your community. So that's our mission,
Mm-hmm.
and based off our goals and mission, we run our program. Um, as far as Salesian, they have a very specific, special view of the Salesian world.
Mm-hmm.
When I say Salesians, it's basically Salesians are a group of Catholic brotherhood group, I would say. And it's quite interesting. They're really all over the world. I did not know until I started working there. But if you go to Mexico, Africa, you name it, there's always a youth center that belongs to Salesians. And they believe in Don Bosco. So Don Bosco is a saint. He's from Italy. And basically, a little history about Don Bosco is he it was in the rough times, and there was not a lot of education. There was a lot of teenagers hanging around in the streets, and it was a very rough neighborhood. He created trades for students, like auto mechanics, wood shop, to have the kids in the area busy and in a very positive mentality, instead of stealing. All the negative aspects that go into this dynamic. And what's interesting is that he was a Catholic priest, but he didn't really focus more like in the religion aspect. It was more of keeping students busy, keeping the youth busy in something positive. to become someone.
Mm.
So little by little, youth center started being created. So it's a quite interesting story that I learned working here. Personally, myself, I'm from the community. Um, I was raised Catholic, so all I know is La Virgen. So when it came to Don Bosco, it was more of me like, so what is it? And I started, questioning, and that's how I know a little bit of the history. But when it comes to Don Bosco, it's everything for the youth.
Mm.
So that's where the world stops and says, we're here for the youth, and how can we invest? So it's a beautiful mission that's coming in from the Salesian world. Um, the S.H.O.U.T program put it together, and that's why we have this passion. You could be religious, you cannot, but at the end of the day, our educators, our staff members, they have a special gift to bring in and connect with the students. Um, the staff and team personality is different. Some of our staff members are quite either on the quiet side, outgoing, but guess what? It fits the personality of our youth.
Yeah.
Some of our students are the same.
It's the real world, right? It's what's out
Exactly.
there. Yeah, 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 yeah.
So I think that's exciting to see that we're not all the same, and we all have a different.
Yeah. And it's interesting that you bring out the religious part. To be clear, we're not evangelizing anyone.
Correct.
We're not.
Yes.
Yes.
It's not a faith-based program after school. We don't pray. We don't do any of that. But the values, right? The core values align, even to the core values of our district, like joy and wellness
Correct.
and connectedness, community, communication, and growth, and this idea that all of us can do something to improve ourselves, right? But especially young people. So yeah, okay, thank you. I was my hope is, and I was talking to parents earlier today. My hope is that everything that we do allows kids to look inwards and to let them see themselves as good people, right? And that they can empower themselves to be that good citizen, to be engaged, to contribute, to be aware, to be self-aware, and to help themselves increase their self-esteem, their self-view, so that they can then contribute to others. So I'm wondering about maybe connecting all these activities with some sort of I don't know, reflection on, okay, so how did you, after today, what did you do? How did you become a better person? And I don't know, that's too cliche-ish or too, what's the word I'm trying to think of? I'm an old person, so I can be a little cheesy. But sometimes I think kids like that. They like to be able to get the opportunity to safely think about themselves.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, I feel that maybe it could be the first time ever that students been asked that. Like, what did you do today that,
Yeah.
either made a difference within yourself or to someone else?
Yeah.
So I think that would be an interesting.
The crazy thing though is that they do notice it. It's like you could have conversations with them, even the most quiet student. You could just be like, "Hey, how are you? How's your day?" And they will notice, like, today I did this, and I didn't think I was capable of it, but I did it. And it's like, why? If you just doing that little questioning with them, just asking them, they then reflect back and be like, oh, well, I'm not a person that would be able to talk in front of people, and I did it. There's been times where students are like, oh, like that student, I will say, he didn't, he was scared of speaking in front of people. And there's been times where he was like, I ran out of the class. I walked away because I couldn't do it. But this time I did it. And I was like, what made you, what was the difference, And it was just the fact that it's the environment. Not only that, but we were practicing with him where it was like, just, me and you. Okay, now let's add people into it. And we did little practices where it was like, okay, he has a little bit more confidence to talk at least with 3 people. You could do it maybe with half of the class or the whole class. It's just getting straight to the point. If you pass your time, hey, you might deduct a few points, but you did it, you know? So when he came back and he let us know that he actually did it, I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like, that's amazing. I was like, I knew you could do it. It's just you putting yourself out there. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I feel like within our programs, there's always a reflection back to it. Now, do we ask it all the time? No, but I feel like students self reflect, or will come to you and just express themselves. And it's like, oh, okay.
So today we're celebrating academic achievement for the students, and then we're highlighting their talents, we're highlighting their accomplishments, and our kids are talented in so many different ways. I mean, when the school first was built, the intent was to not have sports because they were seen as distractions, right? So we don't have a football team, we don't have a football stadium, we don't have, we don't have many other things. But since then, we've won city championships, CIF championships. I mean, our kids are talented in so many different ways. They're artistic, they're athletic, they're poetic, they're in so many different ways. So, um, and I'm very comfortable that our teachers create spaces for their students, but it is not for everyone, right? So, like, we cannot. There are so many different personalities that sometimes safe spaces for some kids are not safe for others. And so I am happy to hear that we have another set of adults who are creating more safe spaces for other students who may not feel like they're safe in those other environments. And the reason I'm a wordy person, I'm always a wordy person, and people always tell me, cut it, cut it. But the reason why I say all of this is because these accomplishments that you're sharing with me right now, maybe we can highlight and celebrate them publicly with the kids in Shout already, and maybe with others, right? Because highlighting and celebrating also is important for others to know, hey, you know what? I could probably do that. I could potentially join that club or go to the after school program. I never thought about it, but that kind of thing. So what are some potential ways in which we could celebrate that kind of, are you already? I think you probably are one of the products that you were talking to me about earlier today, the book.
Yeah, so the book, this is a, I don't know if you guys didn't hear about before. We have our students share their experiences in the community, in their personal life. The book itself, it's a reflection of all that.
Mm-hmm.
We put it together. At the end of the day, students get receive a copy,
Mm-hmm.
and then we're gonna have a nice celebration where we invite the community. It's a nice table. The students are behind having autographs left and right. So parents come in, the donors come in, and it's a moment for them to give a thank you to the peers, whoever organizes the event. But that is a very special event where students actually naturally want to provide a speech to the community. So we allow them to talk, and it's a nice, rewarding feeling for us. We don't get that much. I think we all sometimes just work and do what we have to do, deadlines, submission. But when it comes to our youth, hearing their reflection, their experiences, like I think that's the most rewarding feeling for us. Highlights. We have our e-news, monthly e-news through Salesian. And our job is to be sending a special highlight from the program. So we do it every month. And we should maybe attach an email. So anyone, can just add to our e-news. And every month, our executive sends out special highlights for what we do. And we could have we have had students write a nice little paragraph of reflection or whatnot, and that's some of the projects we've done. Whether if there's any other projects
I
when
know
you're
for
open?
this year, at least because this is our first time here, I want to do an end of the year
Awesome.
gathering.
Awesome. I was
Um,
just thinking about that, and since I have you on the spot, I was gonna ask it, but I'm glad that you
Do
brought
it.
it up.
of course, getting it approved first, right?
Yeah.
But we want to do like a little party for them, where it's like there's food. If we could use maybe, I don't know where the cafeteria is, bring some jumpers or something. I don't know, make it fun, lively.
Mm-hmm.
Not only for the students that actually attended, but for the school, so they see as well. Like, this is for you guys, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I feel like it would be something nice. Not only that, but maybe we could incorporate like a little ceremony, you know. We have students that are seniors, you know. Maybe we could give them some sashes or something. I don't know, for being a part of the program, for
Mm-hmm.
and just some acknowledgement, you know. Um, but I feel like it would be a nice end of the year event
Mm-hmm.
for them, and it will be something different. Um, Not only that, maybe we could use our DJ club. You know, they
Yeah.
could actually DJ. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
maybe if we grow some flowers, pick out the flowers and get them from the
Yeah.
gardening.
Yeah. Yeah. One of the things that the gardening club used to do a long time ago is they would plant succulents and then sell them for as fundraisers.
Wow.
So you'd be able to buy a little potted succulent. So that's an opportunity. But I was thinking about that, and I was thinking about the year end and thinking, maybe it's too late for this year, but thinking about maybe keeping track of how many hours any particular student has spent in Shout, and then maybe giving them a recognition to the top 10% of participants, or so many hours of community or Shout participation, award kind of thing, and recognizing them at the end of the year. It would be a great way to just be able to officially recognize them for their commitment to after school activities. Yeah.
Let's bring out the piñata too.
Right? Yeah, we've tried before and something always comes up, but that's a great idea. Maybe I know a musician out there who plays for uh, Solis, right? But we'll talk about that later on. So we've had guest bands play for the kids at times. And
Nice.
yeah, for Cinco de Mayo, I think. Anyway, I am an average kid, quiet, don't get connected as much. What do I do if I want to join Shout?
Honestly, I feel like it's really easy. You could all you need is a SHOUT application. The application is just an emergency form, just in case, of course, there's any emergencies, if you have any food allergies, or if you have any specific needs that you want to let us know about, it's all stated on there. But you just need to pick up that form, and you could either pick it up in the main office, in the magnet office, and then in room 320. And those are all there for you. It's actually also in the website, so you could click on the link that's
On the Bravo
on the
website?
Bravo website.
Okay.
And they could actually just print it out, fill it out, and bring it to us. They could drop it off either main office or in our room in 320. The beauty of it is that all of our programs are free. You are not charged whatsoever. It's not mandatory for them to stay the whole time. You stay as long as you can. Not only that, but we know you're in other clubs or sports and so forth. So it's whenever you're able to come. The only one that is mandatory is the driver's ed, just because we do have a DMV instructor that comes, and you have to do your 30 hours. But that one, again, it's free. And you get prepared. You're being prepared so that you could take the written test and ace it on the first try. And it helps you out too, because you're a minor, so you need the 30 hours. So save your parents some money, you know?
Yeah.
Just to add on, the application, you turn it in tomorrow, and you're good for the rest of the school year.
Okay.
If you want to turn it in the very first day when we come back, it's all you need is one application for the rest of the school year. And you could join any of our programs that we offer. So all it is just turning it in, and you're welcome to the family.
Awesome. Awesome. So, when we offer summer school, will you guys be around for summer school?
Please.
Please.
Okay.
The more presence, the better. So whatever opportunities we have to collaborate, count on us.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll have summer school again this summer, and we start almost right after school lets out. So we'll be busy again this summer. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Well, it's been a pleasure talking to you guys. I'm every time I talk to you guys, I learn something new about Shout, and I look forward to our collaboration, our teamwork. I think it's great that our kids have options after school, and that we're creating multiple spaces of different kinds for kids to be safe, to be challenged, right, to grow in different ways. And so, thank you, appreciate it.
No, thank you for having us and giving us the opportunity to be here as well. I mean, I feel overall we're all working together to make a difference not only for the people here but for the students. So at the end of the day, thank you, like really.
Yeah, really grateful for being here. I always thought to myself, why did our principal choose us specifically, our after-school program, compared to other agencies that they have 20 schools compared to our small community circle. I always wondered. I never asked you. This maybe could be another conversation, another podcast. But it felt nice to know that it was us.
I almost brought it up. I honestly, I was thinking about it, and I almost brought it up because I was the one who made the decision.
Of course,
I was the one who chose to invite you guys to join us. We did interview other agencies, and other agencies had a lot of things to offer, and they're a lot of experience, right? But there are a couple of things that really stood out to me and that really made a difference. And one is that you guys are local, and that's more practical than anything, right? That you're local. But I really appreciated the willingness, the energy, and the willingness to be flexible and to work with us, to think about things in a flexible, open-minded kind of way. I felt like the other programs, and no
This is
criticism
Yeah.
to the other programs, it's just the way we work here. I feel like they were more prescriptive, more rigid, more, right? And you guys were a lot more humane, more human-like, more flexible, more real, it felt to me. So that's why I chose you guys.
Wow.
So,
Thank you.
yeah, and I almost said it, and but I also don't want to give kudos to myself because I do feel like I made the right choice.
Wow.
So yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
And as usual, thank you to everyone who joined us today and who will watch this episode of the Good Night podcast. And as usual, always be a good night.